Your career is a ladder that leads you all the way to the top. Practically, all your dreams and aspirations of getting into management or even becoming a successful entrepreneur are hinged on your career success. Today, universities and colleges are churning out yearly more and more graduates just like you, all of whom are going to compete in the same industries for the same jobs. This means more graduates stepping over each other for fewer jobs. The good news? The right education can make you more employable in a job market that is increasingly competitive. You can stand out amongst your peers with a Blue Crest education, an education that understands the needs and challenges of the job market and prepares you ahead through progressive and inclusive learning. Our students are given the creative freedom that encourages personal development and are offered on-field opportunities for professional growth. Acquiring a Blue Crest education means being guided to identify and pursue your interest in fashion, ICT, business and journalism, and using the skills acquired in the course of learning to prepare yourself for life. Don't be indifferent to your education. Your career depends on it. Enroll at Blue Crest College today. Visit www.bluecrest.edu.gh.
Afternoon to you on Youth Empowerment Television Show. My name is Richmond Amofa Sapon, and today promises to be a well-detailed discussion that we are bringing to you on Youth Empowerment Television Show. And my guest, as usual, is Mr. Anthony Mark-Boye, who is the CEO of Cream College. He's a financial expert, and it's very much important that our finance experts. And so when we're having such discussions, we have to get him here. He's always here to educate young people and get us to understand issues that are surrounding. Today we are looking at the mid-year budget review as submitted by the finance minister just last week Thursday. We are looking at the issues, certain important issues, or we are itemizing certain bullets or certain points that are having national interest so that we can discuss it. If you want to join the conversation, don't forget to send your messages coming through on 054-850-3799, 054-850-3799. You can send a text message or WhatsApp message. We'll do our best to read it for you as the show goes on. Let me say a big good afternoon to all the workers of Crossmark Marketing. Yesterday you were supposed to have the announcement of the employee or the staff of the week. But don't worry, today I'll be there in the office myself so that we can announce and give the cash prize for the staff or the employee of the week, so that each and every time you guys will be encouraged and motivated to give your best day in, day out, aside whatever remunerations or salaries you are getting at the end of the month. So on Facebook, if you're watching us, don't forget to drop your comments also there so that we read it for you as the show goes on. Quickly, Senior, you're welcome, Chairman.
Thank you.
Everything fine.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
cool,
such
cool.
a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah.
Today we are discussing, or we are going into the mid-year budget review.
Sure.
And without wasting much time, I would want us to look at the GDP growth. And those who are going to be following us as per the budget review statement itself, you can follow this on page 9 of the budget statement. And we are looking at the GDP growth. So first of all, when we say GDP, those who are watching us, what is the GDP growth?
All right, thank you very much. Good afternoon, all viewers, and hello to your team as well. Good afternoon to Mr. Pratt. When we say GDP, we mean gross domestic product. And it's just the income, the total income of the nation. Yeah, so gross national product, you can also call it gross national income. As an individual, you work and you earn, maybe salaries. The total income put together at the end of the year is your annual income. Then businesses too, they have their corporate profits or annual profits. Okay, so annual profit, which is derived from annual income. You take your income, you remove expenditure from it. So, but when it comes to government, when they say GDP, the GDP, which is the gross domestic product, is the same as gross domestic income.
Okay.
And it's also the same as total government spending. Seriously. Okay. So their own is slightly different. The total government spending is the same as total government income, because that's how it goes. Because you spend what you gain. Yeah, you spend what you gain. So I think that's basically what the national, let's just say national income, the income of the nation, the income of the country. That's essentially that.
Okay, very well. Now, this particular government has been touting or has been saying that they are better managers of the economy. In fact, if you look at the budget statement, they have given indications of the overall GDP growth as per figures, and also the ratios are here. And we have the non-oil sector. I mean, how the growth had been without the oil, and also how the growth is with oil revenue coming inside. Now, they are saying that in 2014, in the Mahama administration, 2014, the GDP growth of Ghana was 2.9. 2015, it reduced to 2.2. Now, in 2016, it shot up to 3.4. Now, when the MPP took over, the GDP growth, that is overall with oil inclusive, they achieved 8.1. And in 2018, they achieved 6.3. And in 2019, that's just last year, they achieved 6.5. Now, if you look at the overall GDP growth with oil, what it means is that they have achieved the highest GDP growth as compared to those of what the NDC administration achieved. You come to the non-oil, that's the growth of our economy without oil revenue. 2014, it says NDC achieved 2.7. 2015, they achieved 2.2. 2016, they achieved 4.6. 2017, MPP says they maintain it to 4.6. Government says that in 2018, they moved it to 6.5. And also in 2019, they got 5.8. They are touting this as one of the major, or some of the major real achievement they have established. What do you say to this?
All right, these are the figures that we have, and it's impressive. But you have to understand that the growth of the GDP is not necessarily a government issue. It's an economic management issue, and there are aspects of the economy that contribute to this, which is not entirely an issue of government. For instance, government spending is part. If government spends, GDP is stimulated, because if government spends, you look at it. What things that do government spend on? They spend on compensations. If you look at the budget, compensation is the maximum budget expenditure when it comes to government spending. They spend a lot on compensation, salaries and all that. When they're able to spend that way, then individuals also have money to spend. So these individuals pay their taxes. And when these individuals also patronize goods and services, businesses also get revenue. Then they can also pay their corporate taxes. So it's an in and out issue. You have to spend to stimulate GDP. And most of such in the budget is on compensation. It will amaze you that what they even spend on other services is even more than in infrastructure. This government has spent little, you call it capital expenditure. If you check the budget, the expenditure on capital, stuff like roads and hospitals and all that are very little. Then they have huge expenditure on education.
And also service and loan.
Yes, huge expenditure on education. So if you understand that dynamic, you realize that it's not an issue of government. It's an issue about choices, and every choice you make comes with its own cost. But at the face of it, it's excellent. Now, but what you should know is that what we have right here, that's on page 8, am I right?
Page 9.
Page 9.
Yes.
It says real non-oil GDP recorded. Now, it's an impressive performance. Yeah, it's an impressive performance. Now, but I'm explaining something. If you choose to stimulate expenditure, you have to ask yourself, where are we getting the money to spend?
Yeah.
Then you go to Eurobond. Are you getting me? If you're interested, we're going to that. So you use expenditure to stimulate income. All right. So if you use expenditure which is financed by loans, then it has long-term repercussions. So you can stimulate the economy to work well in a short term, but in the long run, you come back to quote and unquote a form of hippie situation.
So can you say that is a situation that got government to go to go under the IMF bailout program under the Echurchafrica administration?
Which of the Echurchafrica administrations?
I mean the IMF bailout we were in until recently this government brought us out.
Yes, yes, that is part of it. It's the same thing that led us to HIPIC.
In when Kufuor came and had to take Ghana to HIPIC because of the past administration.
It's the same reason for the structural adjustment programs, the economic recovery programs, that debt cycle. Because in February, the government had to issue a Eurobond, right? And a Eurobond is a very...
Yes, it's good we are going into the Eurobond. You know, this is a youth empowerment program. So as we have here now, you've explained what GDP means and what it stands for. And like you said, another name for GDP is the gross domestic income of government. Now, when we say Eurobond, we may understand from the level that we have ourselves. Now, with young people watching us who constitute majority, who probably we know are not so much interested in government budgets and all of that, what is this Eurobond all about?
Yeah, and even before I go that, I want to put in some controls in the argument.
Very well.
I don't want this argument to be an NDC or MPP thing. I don't want it to be like the former government said this. These are very objective issues. In fact, as to how the economy is going to grow or not, it's not always an issue of government. For instance, in 1983, there was famine. There were no rains, and our agriculture is rain-fed. So there are no rains. There are no food to eat.
Who do you blame?
Who do you blame? So the Minister of Finance said something in an interview with Kweku Sechiado. He said something that the economy has real psychological aspects. It has real social aspects. There are real emotional aspects of the economy. The former General Achampon had something like Operation Feed Yourself. The emotions, the faith, the patriotism
You need to come together.
At that time was strong. Nkrumah had similar stuff, the work and happiness idea. So these issues.
In short, you are saying that both political parties should stop touting these things as achievements and failure. So the media does not drive that.
Let's look at the issues as they are now. The first half growth is supposed to be at 5.8. That's what they targeted. By 0.9%, are you aware of that? So the growth you are talking about, that percentage growth you are talking about, is 2019. Are you getting it? But we are looking at 0.9% for the
2020?
Yes.
Yeah, but we understand that the world economy is suffering. If it's 0.9,
you agree?
Yes.
That is your statement. Agree to what I'm saying. Yes. What happens in the economy is not entirely an NDC or MPP.
So in a situation where no natural disaster or pandemic comes, and we rely solely on the competence of people in the realms of the economic management, and they are unable to meet the expectations, do we say they failed?
Yes, we do. We do say that. But it's the same government in this COVID world. The minister is praying, very subtle, very docile man. He's praying. He said, direct my steps. He's not the typical politician, you understand? He's not a typical politician. Very, very gentle man. And you can see he's praying. You understand? But his communicators are not really understanding these things because, as the vice president would say, the fundamentals will expose you. You understand? Or the indicators will expose you. Your fundamentals of whatever it means. But he's just trying to say these are the indicators. GDP is one of them. So now we will move into the Eurobond issue. But I want to touch briefly that the growth of GDP, in economic analysis, growth of GDP does not mean also that the individuals or the people in the country are having increased national income. We call something GDP per capita. That is the national income divided by the population. US does not have the highest GDP per capita, even though they have the highest national income. And they also have maintained a very solid growth rate all these years because of their population. But some countries in the Bahamas, some countries like that, they have the highest GDP per capita because their population is little. So the income that comes, it's able to spread evenly over the population. Yes. Nigeria has national income. They have oil. But when you spread their income over the population, it becomes very scanty.
Yeah.
You see, so we don't just talk about GDP, we talk about real GDP. Real GDP is the income adjusted by inflation first.
Okay.
That's real GDP. So this thing has to be audited and looked at properly. Then after we have adjusted it by inflation, because the fact that you are being paid, you are talking about paying people. If you are paid 3,000 cedis, for instance, doesn't mean when you go to the market, the 3,000 cedi has purchasing value. That doesn't give you enough purchasing power, because prices of goods and commodities might be increasing consistently over time, which is inflation. So yes, the income, but what can it buy is the same economy. So we are going to take this thing one step at a time. Then let's quickly jump to the Eurobond. The Eurobond is a loan. Okay, we call them debt instrument, and it's a hard currency denominated debt instrument. It means that this is a debt instrument that is raised in other currencies. In this case, euros or dollars. And they are not raised in the country of the one that's issuing. Issuing bond is, to issue a bond, okay, is to, in a very layman's language, to ask that people should give you a loan.
Oh, okay.
They should put money in an instrument, a debt instrument. They should invest in you. But you don't go into the international market yourself. You have a syndicate of investment banks and merchant banks, and you have a lead banker, lead manager, and they organize this syndicate. So the monies are going to come through banks. Then these banks, they themselves can choose to, or can get the people you call underwriters. So you need huge money, and in this case it's $3 billion. Okay, you need huge money, and these people will go into the capital market and raise this money from other banks who are secondary investors. So these secondary investors will put these monies together, and they will come to this syndicate, and this lead bank will mop all this money and make sure that the amount you are looking for, you have it at a certain price. When we say price of a coupon or price of a bond or cost of a bond, it's just the interest you are going to pay on it.
Wow. So what it means is that if you are looking to raise about $3 billion,
yes,
the lead bank, who is putting all these secondary banks together to raise
their primary banks first.
The primary banks, so putting all those together to raise that $3 billion. Now that the coupon price or the actual price, the interest they are giving you could exceed the
so the interest they are giving you will be at a margin. So let's take it from the secondary. These secondary banks take deposits from millionaires, rich people, companies, powerful organizations, oil gurus, you understand, top sheikhs. People have huge monies, and they will promise them an interest, a percentage. Then they will come and sell that loan. They will give that as an investment to the people in the syndication. They will give it to them at an interest. So it will be higher when it comes to the primary level. It's just like retail to wholesale. So loan retailers, they are taking money from those who have the huge monies at a rate. Then they will sell it. So they also invest it with the primary financiers.
But those banks would also have they would also have something on it aside the price that they take from the
they put something on it.
Very well.
Yes, there are processes, and this is what the process we expect the government to follow. As to whether they are following or not, I sitting here, I can't tell. Are you getting it? The minister will tell you to follow the process, but it has to be audited, please. So when these monies come, to the primary banks, they will now put it together, and if it is more than what you actually intended, it's called oversubscribed. So you hear the minister saying it was oversubscribed, meaning that
they chalked a lot of success.
Yes, and it's a good deal. It's a big deal, because now we talk about credit. In this part of our world, you can carry money from the boot of your car to buy a bigger car. You can't do that in other dispensations because of tax. Have you paid tax? Where are you getting the money from and all that? So credit, to have credit or to be credit worthy, credit is credere in Latin, which means to be trusty. So what they are touting is that they are trusty because you are raising this money from different markets, capital markets, and they're able to give you that money easily, and they know you are in Ghana. So that means there's some faith in the economy. Are you getting it? They have faith in the economy. They're able to raise that money. But the interesting and beautiful thing about it is that this is something that is paid over different time periods, ranging to 40, 43 years in this case.
Yeah.
So repayment, because something hardship limit, the amount of installment you have to pay at a point in time, plus the interest on it. Okay, that is the interest you pay is the servicing of the debt, but the principal, that's the percentage you have to pay, plus the interest, which is a hardship, is spread over a longer period. So you don't feel the burden like the other, first degree lending. So that is what they are touting. That's the issue of the Eurobond. Okay. So he is particularly grateful, the minister, because he went in for this around February. Then Corona came. Yeah. So if such an amount of money was not injected in the economy even before coronavirus came, how would things be? Yeah. You see, so that is the ecclesiastical aspect of his work, and that's how he believes that God is leading him. Yes, yes. Wow. It's because it's important. If that money didn't come, then there'll be pressure on the few convertible reserves like dollars, because the country or the economy is import dependent. So we use cedis to buy dollars. So in economics, dollar is a commodity. It's not a currency when you look at it from economic standpoint. It's a currency for Americans, but for us it's a commodity. It's a commodity, because we even use dollar to hedge when there's inflation, when prices are going too much. Your CD is not of no value. You can quickly buy some dollars. Then after 2-3 years, let's just make it so practical. When you go back to the Forex Bureau, the value goes up. You understand? So it's a commodity. Wow. We've taken money off the gold standard. We talked about that the last time. You can check that up. Yeah. But now the dollar itself is also a commodity. So how are we going to trade? How are we going to honor our investor obligations, like the things that we owe, responsibilities, things that we have to pay, things we have to import, everything we have to import, from toothpick, according to the minister, to face masks, we have to import all these things. So if that money did not come, how are we going to be able to trade and be viable? Wow. So that's the idea about Eurobond. So in that case, they did well. Yes, they did well. But we call something also debt optimization. If the money comes that way and you are praising God for it and you are grateful that God has led you, how do you use the money? How they are and all those things. So maybe that's another discussion for us to look at.
Wow. If you're watching us, we are having an exclusive interview on how generally we understand the 2020 budget review as submitted by the finance minister. Your messages have been well received, and then I'll be reading it for you. Wow. This person says that brilliant submission by Mr. Anthony. Okay. This one says that, can I have the number of Mr. Mark-Boye? Such a great delivery. Okay. You're watching us all the way from Sierra Leone. Thank you so much. Okay. On Facebook too, we have seen your messages that are coming right on Facebook. Okay. So quick one. I want us to look at this. Now, government says that it has made some packages available for the unemployed. It's called the unemployment package. I think about 100 million Ghana cedi or so. Is it realistic, or this is just a promise, or this is much ado about nothing?
Is it part of the budget?
Yes. He made a statement on it. Let me quickly. Okay, before we get to that, let's look at the other issue that has to do with the free electricity and then the free water.
I can comment on all those things, but I just want us to make a difference. We are calling ourselves youth empowerment. We should make a difference in our analysis.
Okay.
So we look at the issues very objectively. So I can answer, but I would want, because there's a way he has done his presentation. Where maybe at the right time I will also talk about it. For instance, I saw him saying that it's in the budget on the second page. This Eurobond, he represented it as $3,000 million.
Yes.
But 3,000 million is 3 billion.
3 billion,
some of those issues, it's like presentation. You don't have to present some of these things in a very creative way.
Yes.
You understand? So a lot of things we can talk about.
Yes, but do we have issues with that? I mean, with saying 3,000.
We call something creative accounting.
Yes.
Yeah. So the way you present numbers and all that, it is a psychological twist. It doesn't make it look like a big deal.
Okay.
That's not how we present in our dispensation here.
Okay. So more or less they're strategically presenting a figure, not making it look so much of a big deal.
Yeah.
But there are things you are trying to have a colorful illustrations about it.
Like we talk a lot about, maybe we won't go into that. We talk about expenditure. It says I think they made some huge expenditures, for instance, in agriculture.
Yes.
Okay, 1.6 billion went into, I think was spent on 100,000 jobless but educated young adults through the new NAPCO initiative.
Yes.
Are you getting me?
Yes.
So I think that 100,000 just represents about 0.33% of the population of the country.
Yes.
I remember when I graduated in University of Ghana, those of us who graduated in the year I did were almost 20,000.
Yeah.
And I was addressing I think it was a graduating class of those who were in this business school for University of Professional Studies. And I gave them the figure. I think it's around 300,000 people who come out from all the tertiary institutions according to ESA.
Yes.
So if you have 300,000 people coming out every year and you've given a job to 100,000 people, and this is how much you spend, what's the fraction? What's the percentage of people?
So this is where somebody would say it's also a step in the right direction, though not too much of a major significance as compared to others will not even attempt to even employ about 50,000 of such people.
Yeah, and in addition to that, it's a step in the right direction. I think I commended him.
Yes.
But we are talking the issues. When most of these people are employed in the public sector, it's also not good enough because you're just putting pressure on the public purse. I'm using their own.
So you prefer those people to be home?
The word is not home. Do you know what has gotten China to where it is today? And China, a major global player. It's industrialization. They invested in skilled manpower, in technology, manufacturing. Okay, so
we'll come to the one district, one factory, which is another industrialization, strategy by the government.
Yeah, but let me quickly chip this thing.
Okay.
If you are recruiting people and you are recruiting them in the public sector, you question, do they have the relevant skills, and the sector you are recruiting them into, is the sector competitive enough? Because the public sector firms are not really competitive. You know the inefficiency. Let's put plenty of economics aside, even though that's what I will still say later. But in this matter, you know how government institutions are. How there's no monitoring, how there's no supervision and all that. If you are employing people because they're unemployed and you need some numbers, and in the budget he said, according to the Ministry of Labor or something, it's not Ministry of Labor that should give numbers like that. It should be Ghana Statistical Service or ESA.
But the Ministry of Labor is also supposed to be privy to such data.
They will give it out if it's through that ministry. Because that ministry, with the minister that's appointed by government.
Yes.
So you.
But don't forget that the minister has a whole ministry supervisor. There are technical people in the ministry who give such figures to the minister.
So you end up employing people in the public sector, but is it necessary? Do we need more public sector workers now in this season in which we are? So those are the issues. When you talk about agric, planting for foods and jobs and all that, foods and jobs.
Yes.
So foods, how do we sell, or do we use for the senior high schools, the agricultural produce for the senior high school? That would be a brilliant idea. And I think that's what they are doing also.
They said it. They said that now there's abundance of food both in the industry, in the senior high schools and other places. Now you mentioned agriculture. Let me give you a breakdown. Now they are touting that agricultural growth in 2013 was 21. This one they are saying that sectoral distribution of GDP in 2014 as agriculture, how agri played a role in the GDP. They are saying that in 2013 it was 21.7, in 2014 was 22.0, 2015 22.1, 2016 22.7, 2017 21.2, 2018 19.7, and 2019 18.5. They said they picked an economy where agriculture was growing at the 0 point something and all of that. Now agriculture is growing in a significant figure. He
said in January 2017 when they took over government, education, health and agriculture were underfunded.
Yes.
Okay. So they have stimulated agriculture. Yeah, but when you look at the year-on-year analysis, that is the growth in agriculture in 2018 compared to 2019, there was a decline. And I don't see coronavirus or COVID-19 having any...
But comparing the decline that we have as compared to 2018, 2019, that decline, the percentage that represent the decline, is it better than as we have it in the 2014, 2015, 2016?
Why would you want to do economic analysis that way? Economies grow. We build on the foundations of the past. So I don't expect you to even start your budget statement by talking about the dire economic conditions.
Is that not what informs the Ghanaian electorate who's done economics to compare their choices in voting? We are in an election year.
You don't start a presentation by always bemoaning the past. There's something wrong with the past. Okay, trying to speak to the issues and explain how these
look forward.
Analyses are made doesn't mean that the past was better.
The past is not
if
the present.
The past was not pleasant, we would not have voted you in. So for me, I'm not a fan of that political issue. When it starts, you always try to paint the picture bad. The economy was so bad, we came and we are trying to. So when you do that, you always make the past so bad. So the little you do, okay, becomes acceptable. That is it. It's argument.
When you could have even done more.
Yes. Yes. You are lost to them. One of the ways of getting your case better is to punch so much holes in the defenses of your opponent. That doesn't mean that there is no offense.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
So what I'm saying is that moving from 2018 to 2019, there's a decline.
Yes.
Even if it is marginal, it's a decline. You understand? So efficiency should be displayed on a year-to-year basis.
So you get the clear picture of the growth.
Growth,
exactly.
Yes, because the economy is an agri-based economy.
So you don't give reasons for your failure of a declining
No,
growth.
you don't go back to
2015,
2017. No, there has to be a build-up.
I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah.
Quickly, is there any other aspect you want to touch on, basically, in the budget, so that we can?
No, it's just you just asked a question which I'm not sure I answered. You were talking about unemployment and all that, and I said, yeah. So yes, unemployment, yes, but the numbers that came up are still marginal.
Yes.
Okay, they are still small compared to the number of graduates that we are churning out. But even that, I don't think that is the best for government to be in a hurry to prove that they are giving jobs if most of the jobs are in the public sector. In effect, you just put pressure. You know, we used to call something Kufuor police, respectfully.
Yes.
Some of them were standing in the traffic, blue and yellow. It was so obvious that these are people that they were forcing to give them jobs. You understand? Job for the boys. At the end of the day, we can't find them. I hope you are listening to me.
Yes,
you remember Golden Age of Business. You remember presidential initiative on starch, on textiles, and all these things.
Yes.
This is still the MPP government. If that's an analysis you want to do, this is still an MPP government. We don't hear any talk about Golden Age of Business. We don't see the continuity. We don't see the consolidation based on the past. I get what I'm saying.
I get it.
You see. So I think that if you say we should go to the past, even if you go to the MPP past, there are a lot of issues about starch factories that were left in the bush and all those things. I guess you remember PSI. Mr. Alan
Presidential Special Initiative.
All those things, and you see. So let's just be very, very sincere with ourselves. It's not an issue about the past. Let's look at the year on year and let's see the sustainability of the growth. Yeah.
Okay. So let's look at the one district, one factory. Now, I was trying to get if the exact page.
That is 70. That's 0.70.
0.70.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it will be on page 3. I think so. It says 70, 1D, 1F. That's one district, one factory.
One factory, yes.
70 of them are completed, and 1.85 billion invested in agriculture, resulting in agricultural growth.
Which page is that? Which page?
Page 70. I'm reading my summary. I did my own summary.
Okay.
So that I make the work very easy for me. It's a very bulky document. So you read page 2, you see the point there. So 71 district, 1D, 1Fs are completed, and
70 of them are completed.
70 of them, yes, and 1.85 billion invested in agriculture, resulting in agricultural growth, which increased from 2% between 2014 and 2016 to 5.2% on on the past 3 years. But what I'm saying also about this kind of analysis is this. If you're saying that you invested 1.85 billion in agriculture, then tell us the nominal value of the revenue that's created. Please. Please.
Yeah, I get it.
If you put 1.5 billion, we expend for revenue. So if 1.85 billion it was put into agriculture, don't come and give us numbers or ratios or statistics.
We need to get the real
returns. Or we are just planting for food. How food? Is it the planters that are the eaters? Or when you plant, you give free to the schools, or when you plant, they give additionally to their families, or you plant to feed factories like Nkrumah was doing. I hope you are getting me. Do you plan to get raw materials?
I think that one, if you go deeper into it, it gives a further. I was just trying to get the bullet point, because I think with agricultural growth and the investment they have made in that, they made it quite clear that there's food sufficiency, there's a lot to export. There's food sufficiency. We don't export foods anymore. They have given their angles of senior high school, depending on. I want to get specifics.
Interesting. Please, let's take it easy. I'm saying that if you invested 1.85 billion in agriculture, we should get the returns matching that investment, not growth rates.
So are you saying that we are not food sufficient as a country now?
We might be.
And that is not a real indication of the achievements of this ratio or the number presented.
My brother, they are achievements. I'm saying that what you are spending for the achievements provide numbers, okay, which should show that the returns or the income is more than the expenditure. Everybody listening to me and who is discerning understands what I'm saying. You can be sufficient, but what you are spending on the sufficiency will make us liquidated in the future. Okay, so that's my point on that. I'm talking. This is about presentation, so that nobody will tell you are doing creative accounting.
Yeah. Okay, now I want us to look at free SHS quickly. It says that the beneficiary trainees and this is the training teacher training allowances. I want to look at free SHS. This is that, Mr. Speaker, the free senior high school free SHS program, which was successfully rolled out at the beginning of 2017-2018 academic year in September 2017 in all public, and I'm reading from page 45. In all public senior high schools and technical vocational institutes under the Ghana Education Services, currently in its third year of implementation. It says that's the point 212. It says that implementation of the free SHS has provided unparalleled access to secondary education. The program currently has the full completion of beneficiary with 3 streams cohorts of students benefited. Total enrollment as at the 2016-2017 academic year was 813,443, while currently enrollment stands at 1,199,750 students. Now, and they give the enrollment, the statistics of the enrollment, and I'm trying to look at the figure that was spent, and
that's 3.2 billion. You can find that one on page 2. Okay, just page 2, which is point 10. You see, you have it there. We have also invested. You can see that we have also
invested in excess of 1.6 billion in 100,000 jobless but educated young. That's the NAPCO.
No, I'm showing you this.
That's a NAPCO. If you can check the page.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, acknowledging education, primary driver, upward social mobility. We roll out draft policy measures to improve opportunities. We invested 3.2 billion to implement free SHS. Point 9.
So 3.2 billion.
Yes.
That is a good expenditure. What do you think about that? You are an expert in this.
So you see, again, there's so many ways of analyzing this thing. There's somebody who will just rubbish everything the government does. I can't do that. We are talking on the facts. So I'm just showing you where I'm getting my figures from. It says, Mr. Speaker, acknowledging education is a primary driver for upward and social economic mobility. We roll out a raft of policy measures to improve the opportunities of our people. We invested 3.2 billion, that's big 2.9, 3.2 billion to implement free SHS, resulting in over 1.2 million teenagers being in secondary school now, looking forward to better opportunities in life for their parents and families. This has translated into 2.2 billion savings. It means that that's how much the parents would have saved.
Yes.
So would have spent, which they have saved.
Yes, in their pockets.
So so they are trying to say that they have put money in the pockets of people.
Indirectly.
Yes, indirectly, and that is money that the state has put back in the pockets of Ghanaians all across the country. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. But like my CPP friends who say, we have free compulsory universal basic education already enshrined in the constitution. So
to be enrolled progressively.
So education should be progressively free. So we are not supposed to just jack forward the economic machines by making this free suddenly. Now, you know something.
Is it suddenly? We have a constitution.
This I'm saying what the government has done is good. People have suffered through senior high school. In a way, also face challenges in senior high school. In a way, so this is a good policy, and so much has been spent on it. But what I want to say is that the way this is just free advice, okay? The way the program was rolled out, to me, it's not supposed to be so, because there is no economic equity or equality anywhere. And that's why we have all the fights and we have all the...
So you wanted those who can afford to afford? Civil
rights movements and all the debates we are having always. It's because there's no equality.
So how are they supposed to do this?
Why? Yeah, that's what I'm going to tell you. You could have had a simple scholarship system. Where for you to have your education free, you walk to a scholarship secretariat, you passed an exam, you applied, and once you apply, you automatically...
It's difficult. You know what? You know what I'm saying? That I've had the Get Fund boss in this chair. I've had the Student Loan Trust Fund boss in this chair, and there's even current difficulty in enrolling scholarship for people in tertiary. The small number even in tertiary, such that somebody who is expecting their student loan after they have passed through all the assessment to get their student loan for their end of semester exam would get the semester payment for the next 2 semesters or so. And people are complaining. Nooks has been giving government how do you call it, ultimatums to hit on the street, and that is still not being met.
You can register people to do voting, and have a system that will make them vote. You're able to tell that there are people in electoral roll who are not Ghanaians.
That is a simple process.
What is complicated about this?
What questions is put before you, aside where you come from and those
My brother, I am saying, if you pass your exam and you are needy, take your guardian and move into a scholarship secretariat, apply, and automatically get on board. You don't have to make education free when some people can pay for it.
So after writing your BEC, an examination, children should be set for another scholarship examination.
I didn't ever say that. What I said is what you will hear. I said that as you are writing your BEC.
That is the exam.
You choose a school, remember. You chose a school. That one is administrable. The administrators of the educational system, they think enough. So apply for a scholarship. Apply for it at that time. So we know that this particular person is coming to free senior high school system.
So the application comes after you have written your BEC or after.
I'm amazed that you think that what I'm saying is difficult.
No, we want to understand. How do you understand it?
You should apply. You should have a system of sieving to find out who needs this kind of...
So what sieving method do you do?
That's what I just told you.
That's what we need clarity on. Are you saying that the sieving should be done whilst the student is yet to write the BEC, or after the BEC, the student should apply?
That's just rhetoric. Once you applied for your school, and your
which
name
is before the exam,
whatever, before the exam, your name is there. So the parents should be aware that there is such a thing as a scholarship for brilliant but needy students, which they should apply for. So it's just a ticking on that same form.
Are you not happy that government is using oil revenue to sponsor universally children to go to...
Are you aware that year-on-year revenue for oil has dropped in the budget? Have you read the budget?
But it's better that over the years we did not even see materially what oil revenue, even if it had dropped or was more, had done significantly for our country.
No, it's so clear in the budget how oil revenue was distributed, and it's cool. But we still have a deficit for information. We are not, the man is not trying to say that everything is okay with us. He is praying. And I'm telling you,
I like that way he's spraying.
I am telling you that there is waste in that system. You see, to react as if I am criticizing this, of course, if you want to criticize the system, I can. But I'm suggesting how it could have been done. Once your name was written before you wrote final exam, and your index number appeared as you memorize it, so you could have ticked a portion of that same form that you wanted free education.
And how will government know you can afford or you cannot afford? Because you said
at least there is a step. Brilliant but needy student. You know what's happening? No. Do you know that this government is, even people who are above grade 30 and 36, they are in top schools like St. Augustine's. You understand? That's what is happening. But it's not supposed to be so, because this system was there since independence.
Equity.
This is, I said there's no equity. Me, I didn't say. Did I say there's equity somewhere? I said there's no equality anywhere. So how you just have to manage the economy so that there's no waste. So that when you go, you will not, the one who comes after you, who does not even have the political will to continue things like this, will not leave or abandon some of these projects. Are you getting me? Education should be free, even to tertiary level. That's what I'm saying.
And because you've raised this brilliant point, is it possible that we all follow social issues, and the former president has made statement that he is going to ensure that we have free tertiary education? Is that practicable? I'm asking for your personal opinion.
Defensive or reactionary policies that somebody has said you do senior high school free, then you also say, me, I'm not interested in this kind of things. Please, how you get what I'm saying? I am only saying that we're talking budget review. You're saying you have spent so much on education, and I'm saying that there is waste. There is waste.
We should have a way those can afford, should afford.
Yes, as simple as that. And you cannot tell me somebody came to sit over here. Who said here that this brain work is not possible? He should get off from his chair. Let me sit on his chair. When we are going to vote, our names will be in the system. They will not disappear. And you cannot find the names of those who are needy and their parents telling you why they are needy. Are you getting me?
That's some people deliberately who can afford to take that they want scholarship.
That's not a problem. It's even better. The idea of quote and unquote big man driving to sign for the needy child alone makes efficiency and time to the system. Government things are always not efficient. You understand? You too much believe in government. They are always not efficient. This food, you remember in the news, you are the media people, when they were doing free feeding under the former government, Ofori government. So some of the food, they were packed like beans. They didn't have oil to cook it. And some of the places they were storing it, they just released the food, even how to store them. Storage, warehousing was a problem, and all that. Those are government issues. So don't too much social intervention, social issues. It's too much.
This one says, hi, I'm Zemalaika watching you in Enyinem in the Eastern region. I'm an artist with good music and good vibes. I need help to come out. Our leaders should help us. This one says that Richie, in fact, I really understand something from the budget after his explanation. Good submission from him. Kudos to Pan African TV. This is Smith. Okay. This one says that, hello boss, please ask your guest if he can mentor me in finance. I have an MBA finance and want to learn. This is Joe from Adabraka. Okay, Joe. This one says that please ask him about the veterinary sector as part of the agriculture, because agriculture is not only about plant. There are a lot of unemployed veterinarians in the system. Okay, I mean your industry, right? Okay. Brilliant submissions from him, but I think he commends government a bit and bash government a lot. We know his political stance. Which politics are we doing here? Good afternoon. I don't believe in the finance minister and his budget to Ghanaians. Just take a look at the government stand on the collapsed financial institutions. The finance minister failed to mention anything on the collapsed financial institutions in his mid-year budget. The affected customers are Ghanaians, and as government which supervises all financial institutions in Ghana, why is government not responsible for mismanagement of customers' funds by the collapsed financial institutions? May God bring back His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and Professor Nana to power. Mohammed A. Sadiq from Tamale. This one says that brilliant submissions from the man. This is the man we need in Akufo-Addo's capable government. Ask him if he can accept a DCE position. Hey, Ghana politics. You can't have an independent view. You would be side with something. All right, but quick one. Government is giving free electricity.
Yeah.
Are you impressed in this budget? I mean, this announcement again, extension of the free electricity also for those on the lifeline. That's those that are using one bulb, those in deprived areas, and all of that. This is a big relief, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. I don't know if you tell me this is a big relief. Isn't it? It is. You understand?
Right?
It is.
And it's a significant relief. Maybe I should ask that.
It is. It is. You see, it is. It is. So, but it's a social intervention. The only thing I'm not getting is the stand.
Yes.
Of the government, especially the ideology. I think they are a center-right government.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, they are a center-right government. But coronavirus has made the whole world a social system now. Everybody is making interventions. So I think those things are good. I don't think they should be criticized because a major population of Ghanaians are complaining. So I think it's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but as to someone saying
the financial, the political affiliation thing.
Oh, I mean those things. When you talk, somebody will definitely. You say we want as youth, and we want to make inputs so that if people in government listen to us, they can take some cues. They understand. So there is no way I would sound as if I'm an MPP communicator. They are not paying me to be over here. You understand? So what? So those kind of things are just normal.
The finance minister, one way or the other, ignored the financial sector. Though stated, but people feel they are refusing to take blame that they have caused people to lose their job. Last time you touched it bit by bit to give us a clearer understanding of it.
I don't think so. Point 236 touched on the financial sector cleanup. So the one
236.
Yes, point 236 down somewhere.
Yeah.
On page 49.
Yes, financial sector cleanup and bill. It says that, Mr. Speaker, government have started to address the challenges of distressed financial institutions in 2017 with a program to clean up the sector. And it's continuing with the implementation of various reforms to strengthen the sector. The cleanup exercise, which was necessitated by weak and failed institutions, inadvertently brought hardship to families and businesses. Many households had their monies locked up in these firms, affecting their livelihood and the successful running of their businesses. Mr. Speaker, as at the end of the first quarter, the end of first quarter 2020, a total of 13.6 billion, that is representing 3.5% of the GDP, has been spent on the resolution of failed banks, specialized deposit taking institutions, that's the SDIs, micro. I think he touched on all of this. Yeah.
So what I wanted to say to that person is this: you know, you don't, when it comes to budget issues, you don't just say something that you're not informed. You have to read the whole document. So I just helped you by giving you some clue about it. But about the financial sector cleanup, I've told you that there needed to be a cleanup because the banks that lost their licenses actually technically collapsed. We saw videos. You saw a man that was 100% naked in protest in a savings and loan company whose funds were locked up. So
the frustration.
Why do we have to be political about this? I think that what they have done is right on the cleanup. But to put spoiled apples together, to form a bigger spoiled apple like the consolidated bank and all that, I doubt if it will work.
It's not going to work.
I doubt if it will work because these are people with different visions, different policy strategies that you are trying to put together. So at the end of the day, you see the people who invested in those typical entrepreneurs banks, they withdraw their monies. That's what will
the
happen.
policy, the bank's policy joined together may not represent
externalization of deposits. So that's the only thing I think was not done rightly. And we also want to make the central bank accept responsibility for over licensing players and not able to regulate them. That thing should be spoken about. They must, because you license
Heads
them.
must roll even there.
Yeah, sure. So those are some of the things. And also those who lost their savings. I don't even think it's a government issue. So the government has tried by paying some of them because it's a private dealings you enter into and you're supposed to do your due diligence. So I know people are aggrieved. I have friends who are also aggrieved and they are calling government to pay their money and that they will not vote for them. But please be patient. These are private decisions you did with private individuals that you can trace and sue and follow on the assets where necessary.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Mr. Anthony Mark-Boye is our guest for today. And as usual, we have him almost every week and giving you quick and good understanding of financial matters and other matters of national importance, and also to educate young people in watching us. So we say thank you so much, and God bless you.
Yeah.
And if you can just wrap up in a minute for us so that we can, and also if you can talk about, you're the CEO of Cream College. Tell us a bit about the institution. We see you doing very well. Everybody knows the institution, but what exactly does the brand stand for?
Well, we're doing 5 main things. Okay. We are doing training in entrepreneurship. If you want to be a private business
you have
person.
an institution that for the first, this is the first time I'm hearing that you are training people in entrepreneurship.
Yeah, so we have CREAM Certified Entrepreneur Program. It's a private professional training institution.
Okay.
And we also train ministers. So if you're listening and maybe you're interested in Christian ministry, theology, yes. Yeah. It's a serious issue when we go into those. Then we're also training in broadcasting. Then we're also training in videography.
Wow.
And we're also finally training in, I think, one area I've forgotten. So if you want to get in touch with me, like somebody, I am Anthony Mark-Boye on Instagram. And
but maybe there's a number that
0242 670 773.
Let's take the number again. So I'm coming. Those who are watching, if you want to get to his institution, he's helping us every time, giving us his input and all of that. And this tells you how the brand he stands for is solid to help you in becoming the entrepreneur you want to be, becoming the videographer, becoming a minister of God, a broadcaster, and all of that. Yeah. Call this number right now, or write it down so that after the program you call. Let's take the number again. 0242 670 773. So make sure that you write it down and call them right now. After an hour, call after an hour, so you can get to enroll and Cream College. Myself, I have some 1 or 2 people I'll have to be bringing there personally. So such a pleasure to serve you this afternoon. Tomorrow we shall be here with another exciting edition of Youth Empowerment Television Show. If you say a prayer, say something for me. We always do this for God and country. Bye.
Thank you.
I'd always known that I wanted to be a fashion designer. As a little